Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. I told you I wasn't going to say nothing about this until the championship game was over. And South Carolina smashes Iowa. Woo! Man, it's going to be something to talk about right here. And look, that first quarter, oh my goodness. I was about to just not even watch the rest of the game. I thought it was over. Whew. The number one offense, Iowa, against the number one defense, South Carolina. South Carolina came into this game undefeated. And I think Iowa lost 4 games on the season. And this is what Iowa gets. I'm not trying to beat up on Caitlin Clark, but this is what Iowa gets because, and this is what the media gets too. They don't want to give no other team no shine. South Carolina was undefeated coming into this game, and from what I know, did they lose 5 starters or 4 starters from last year? I think it was 4 or 5. I'm not for sure. They said something about it on TV, but for them to come in this game and do what they did to Iowa, let me tell you something. South Carolina was bigger, faster, and stronger than this Iowa team. Okay, in the paint, wow, they just wrecked on them. They put it on them. They didn't know what to do. Once that 3-point shot stopped going down for Iowa, they was done. Okay, Caitlin Clark, yeah, she can shoot and she can hit some unbelievable shots, but when those shots ain't going down, she was done because she could not get in the paint and get those shots off like she was in prior games and all season and stuff like that. We're not going to take away what she did in her college career, but man, 2 years in a row, this woman done lost in the national championship game, and they barely beat UConn. I was about to say something. I was about to put a video out, the other day before they play UConn, but I was just going to keep my mouth shut because, man, this is UConn. This is UConn. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't trying to give UConn no shine. And, they barely got past UConn on some bull crap call or whatever like that. Some of these calls you just don't make at the end of the game. Yes, going to the basket, something like that, but on a weak screen like that, it was a foul or whatever like that. But man, sometimes you gotta let these players play. Like if it's going to the basket, something like that, you got to call the foul. But man, whatever like that, they won that game. Ding dong, the witch is dead. To me, the biggest thing is she done lost in the championship game 2 years in a row, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I seen. So I think this should be a hit on her legacy, right? As much as good as she is, correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I saw. Uh, Let me see. I'm gonna look this up. See if I'm correct on this because I don't want to be wrong. 2023 women's. Let me see. I think this is it right here. Women's college championship. College championship. Um. Yeah. LSU defeated Iowa. Yeah, that was that big thing where, yeah, 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row she done lost. This is a bigger hit to her legacy than all these points that she scored. To me, it really is. It don't take away her being a great scorer or nothing like that. But the ultimate goal is to win the championship. And if you get beat back to back years in the championship game, that's a big hit on your legacy. You can't get the job done. So what? You won championships. I mean, I don't know any college. I'm not too into women's college basketball like that, but for the men's, I don't remember two. Let me see. A team that got beat in back to back college championships. Um, if there is, go ahead and tell me. But the biggest thing is, was there a college player at the time was the biggest hype in college basketball. In uh, this girl, she's been the biggest hype in the United States for about a good year, if not like 6 months or something like that. So I don't remember any men's college player was that big of a hype and him going to the national championship game and getting beat in back to back years. I mean, look, man, you gotta. Not that she didn't show up and perform, but you got to show up and you got to, you know, put up maybe 40 points or something like that. Get your team into it, something like that, man. But this is just, I don't even know what to say about this. You know, like I said, I was about to turn it off in the first half, and I was like, man, these girls is high powered. So I wouldn't say, you know, South Carolina was faster. I think they were in the second half, but they weren't in that first quarter. So I'm not trying to make this video long, but it's gonna be a lot of talk now because this is the end of this girl's career, and it don't look like she's gonna be able to go into the WNBA and save the WNBA. And a lot of WNBA players was trying to dump on her already, or former WNBA players trying to dump on her already, because this it's already turned into black versus white. This is what this country likes, right? This black versus white thing and stuff like that. But I guess she wasn't the great white hope that a lot of people thought she was going to be. You know, this was about her winning the college championship and saying, nah, 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 I told you so. I told you I was the best player and I won the championship. So she, trust me, I'm trying to do it lightly here because it's going to be a lot of people that have a lot of crazy takes and hot takes that's going to be blasting this girl. You know, just to make money, just to get views and stuff like that. And, you know, this, like I said, this is a hit on her legacy. You can't just be a scorer. And you know, a great basketball player. You got to win championships, especially with the hype that you got. The hype that you got. I mean, she was. I don't know what the ratings was on this one, but you know, she beat out. Um, she beat out a lot of ratings in the NBA Finals the past what 3 4 years or something like that. And trust me, it just ain't her. She was playing LSU, so LSU drew a lot of ratings too with Iowa and the South Carolina team too. So let's not put it all on her because those other teams they were great teams too. But you can't lose to a team that lost 4 to 5 starters last year. You can't do that, man. You just can't do that. And like I said, um, South Carolina, they were just some big girls in the paint. They weren't gonna get pushed around. Um, they wanted them to launch these shots. That's how you was gonna beat them, but they was D'ing them up too. You wasn't just gonna get wide open shots out on the perimeter. They was really putting it on them. You know what I'm saying? South Carolina played better defense than the NBA plays defense. Even that UConn game, the college in general. These kids, young adults, they're playing for something. They play with, you know, integrity. Um, they hustle. I wish the NBA was like that, man. I wish the NBA was like that. You know, I know once the playoffs start in the NBA, it kind of like slows down and they take it more serious. But man, even college basketball in the regular season, they take it serious. They play defense. Yeah, they launch more threes than I like or whatever like that, but they still play defense. They hustle. So, man, you guys tell me what you think, man. This is woo. This is a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because we thought that, you know, she was going to be on a podium. They was going to be, you know, everybody was going to be celebrating her and Caitlin Clark and asking her, you know, she was the greatest college player of all time. You cannot say you're the greatest college player of all time now. Stats wise, you can say that, but you just got beat in back to back championship games. You can't say that. I wouldn't consider her the greatest women's college basketball player of all times. We just got better players. That man, you had a slew of women come out of UConn, Tarasi, Lobo. I can't even remember all the names. Cheryl Swoops played in college. You got all these Reggie Miller's sister. Um, what's her name? Oh, I forget her name. But yeah, she used to be really good on TNT, and I think was she on ESPN? I think she was more on TNT. But yeah, I just look. I think the level of competition back in the day, even in women's college basketball, was more fierce than it is today. And I think, you know, even in men's college basketball, the competition was so great. Those Duke teams, those UConn teams, those North Carolina teams, um, UCLA, those Syracuse teams, you know, teams in the Big East in general. When we talk about teams in the ACC, Big teams in the Big Ten, it was just better competition back then. It just was. If you missed it, like back in the '90s, the early 2000s, that competition, to me, it was just better in college basketball in general. I mean, if hold on for a second, let me look this up. I want to see all these women that came up out of UConn, and they're trying to tell us Caitlin Clark is the best of all time. Now, hold on, great women's UConn great players. Let me see. Yeah, Diana Taurasi, Tina Charles, Maya Moore. Let me see if I Rebecca Lobo, Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart, Swin Cash. Um, Let me see if I can find some more. I think that's all the great ones is really at the top. Let me see. Those are some of the great names. There's some more in here, but I don't think they was as good as the players I just named. But these players, like I'll take them over. Caitlin any day. Diana Taurasi, Tina Charles, Maya Moore, Rebecca Lobo, Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart. Oh man, I thought it was some more too. I don't even see them. I don't even see them. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. If you can name some more women college players that you thought were better than Caitlin Clark, go ahead. It's not just about stats. It's not. It's about winning. It's about dominance. And UConn dominated the league for a long time, and they're always in the Final Four. These teams are winners and stuff like that. I think even Brittany Griner. I think she was a great player too in college and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm not trying to beat up on this girl, but the media wrote a lot of checks that wasn't cashed right about now. They just bounced. They just bounced. I don't want to hear nothing about this great career. A lot of college players had great careers, right? But didn't win no champion. Curry had a great college career. He didn't win no championship. Um, it's just a lot of college players that didn't win championships and had great careers. What's the name? JJ Redick had a great college career and didn't win no championship, right? Um, but I don't remember, any great players like that losing in a championship in back-to-back seasons. If you can tell me or remind me or comment below who it was, I just don't remember that. Um, like I remember Duke one year, they had a chance of losing back-to-back championship games. Um, I just don't remember that. But this is going to be talked about, and it's going to become, I think, more racial, and they're going to try to you know, shove it in her face, like they've been shoving her in our faces. Not me really, because I really don't. I really don't got no. I don't have nobody in this race. I don't have a dog in this race. I'm just looking at this thing as a whole. It just don't look good for this girl. It just don't. You know. I don't. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm trying to. You guys might be thinking, he is trying to be mean." I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be realistic. They're really gonna drop the hammer on this girl. They're really gonna drop the hammer on this girl. Um, what's this girl name from LSU that she was beefing with? Something Reese or something like that. Oh, no telling what kind of tweet she gonna put out there. I'm telling you, they gonna drop the hammer on her, and the Carolina girls, they gonna be like, yeah, we did it for Angela Reese, and we did it for all the doubters that thought that this Caitlin Clark was could beat everybody, and she was untouchable and stuff like that. That's what it's gonna come down to. That's what it's gonna come down to. I mean, because I think you don't get somebody all this praise without them actually winning the championship and coming through, right? he was like kind of like, I know LeBron doesn't have nothing to do with this, but they was really giving this dude too much hype, and he was melting down every year in the playoffs. 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They was giving this guy all the praise before he even did anything. They wasn't giving Michael Jordan praise like that. They was just saying he was a great player. They knew he didn't have nobody to play with, and he was going up against 3 to 5 Hall of Famers every year in the playoffs with nobody on this team. They was just giving him great praise for not melting down, and putting on epic performances. That's what they was giving him praise for. But people like LeBron and people like her, they just like praising them too much before they even could bring home the championship. And like I said, I think it kind of backfired in their faces. These girls was just bigger, faster, especially in the second half, and stronger. They was getting all the boards, they was getting all the loose balls, they was D'ing them up. So you guys tell me what you think, because it's gonna turn ugly next week.